Sparkle, everybody.
Hello, America. I wanted to take a moment to debunk some of the wild conspiracies I am hearing about my health condition. For starters, it's preposterous that they are using AI to make it seem like I am alive. Elaine and I are grateful for the outpouring of concern and well-wishing, but some have chosen this moment to make ill-conceived jokes. AI is never funny, so stop it. For starters, I came here because of a fall I had, and despite being bruised and banged up, my doctors say I am recovering nicely. My wife Elaine has been great, and no, she didn't flee to China.
Yoko.
Every day she is here with me, right by my side. AI couldn't do that. She even sings to me, which I find really special.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
I have been handling the physical therapy like a champ, so there is no reason to create made-up scenarios about me and AI.
You can do it, Mitch! 50 more!
No, there is not a Russian plot to take me out. Even my doctor will tell you that's a conspiracy theory. Today, I had an old friend drop by.
Mitch, you got a few corns and bunions, which I could easily laser off. I got my tools in my van. Such nice feet.
Elaine even lets me watch some TV from time to time. Elaine, can you turn Beetlejuice on the TV again? You never know who is going to stop by.
Clear! Clear! Wake up, I need the votes!
So as you can plainly see, I am very much alive and well, and the Senate is still in the capable hands of the Republican Party.
I think we got the shot.
I really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
If you enjoy Mr. Newberger's AI funnies and want to help support a creator, subscribe to his Patreon, donate at his GoFundMe, or share and like this video on all platforms.
All right, so we want to give a special shout out to Mr. Newberger of Newberger AI Funnies. Great job as usual. Chuck, great to see you here.
Wicked. Great to see you, Whimsy. Hey. So how
a lot has changed since the last time I saw you. My goodness, we're looking at a new America since the last time I saw you, and it's been less than a week. Well, we have Lindsay has passed, and
Mitch.
We don't know what's going on.
We don't know what's.
I think it's the number one question right now for psychics.
Of course it is. Well, I think it's very interesting that photo that was recently released has only fueled much more speculation. You know, experts are saying it is not AI, but there are many people who are just naturally suspicious about it. My first observation, he looked like he'd spent the month in the hospital getting a facelift.
Okay, so that brings up the ultimate question, which is, do you think? Well, just give me your feedback. Just give me your feedback. What do you think? What's your feeling walking into the room? Because this is a crazy day today. We're going to go into everything crazy that happened. But what sticks out for you regarding this whole craziness with Mitch McConnell going missing? And
well, Mitch McConnell, part of it is what you and I got in our readings just the last show. It does not look very good for him. And suddenly, I think it was on Sunday, that photos released with him with his wife, Elaine, and he looked all rested and fit and almost literally like he'd had a facelift, and he was just doing great. And I think, well, I know for myself, my first hit was, this looks like AI to me. I know, did you feel that, Whimsy?
Well, this was him about 3-4 months ago, right?
Yes.
So, I think the guy in the bed, they said, and it was an old shirt.
Yeah.
Might have been from an earlier medical situation that happened.
Yeah, they were saying that
years ago.
Yeah, it's saying like a decade ago.
Okay, so top story just coming out now is that the Kentucky governor is demanding a health update from Mitch
Yes.
McConnell as daughter deletes ex account.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Governor Bashir, hasn't he publicly demanded that, well, I don't know if demand is the right word for it, but I guess requested that Mitch make a video, do an interview with lots of cameras around, microphones, people around him to prove conclusively that he is alive. Certainly, if he's as fit as he looked in that photo, what's the problem with that? It would certainly put a lot to rest if he truly is as well as he claims.
Yeah, and I think it's telling that the president of the United States doesn't know if Mitch McConnell is alive or dead. He doesn't know what the heck's going on, which is kind of interesting. This has come out, and I thought I would show you all the AOL article that came out.
Yeah.
That Senator Mitch McConnell's family has all but seemingly deserted him as rumors about his health continues to spiral. His daughter deleted her ex accounts.
Yeah, I thought that was very curious. Now, I think the daughter deleted that account over a week ago, didn't she?
It's looking really weird.
It's looked weird for quite a while now. I mean, let's see. His latest statement, he claims he suffered a fall, briefly lost consciousness, and he's also claiming he did not have a stroke, heart attack, or major fracture. He said that he developed a mild case of pneumonia in the hospital, and he's been treated for that with antibiotics. And now he's in physical rehabilitation to get his strength back. That's the story he's giving in the statement.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the people are, it's like, where's Waldo? I think the reason why people are not believing that is because if it's true, why can't he just get on the phone and talk to someone, unless the ammonia is so bad he's been intubated or something like that. And adult respiratory distress syndrome is one of the things that will take people in hospital out. That and sepsis, if you're in ICU or if you're in hospital for a long period of time, these resistant forms of bacteria, adult respiratory distress syndromes, all these super bugs that have taken over hospitals in the United States.
Right. And in his frail state to begin with.
Right.
84?
Yeah. So seniors will go into an ICU or they'll go into an emergency situation, and while being treated for one thing, they'll contract something like a bacterial or a viral infection.
Oh, yeah. I've
and
known
that's
of that
ultimately, my mother actually got, I think what she might have had was swine flu, when we had a swine flu outbreak in 2004, because that was right around the time that we had that massive swine flu outbreak. And they were trying to figure out why my mother crashed so quickly. One minute she had COPD, and she just crashed literally within, less than 72 hours. They had her intubated, and they were trying to figure out, it's very obvious to me as a physician, I was in medical school at the time, but that she most likely caught some kind of a virus, Yeah. But, no, that was all I was going to say. And
I was going to say, I have a friend whose mother is in a rehabilitation center right now, and they're dealing with a COVID outbreak. And he's really worried for his mother right now. And you've discussed this yourself on some of your previous shows, that COVID is on the rise again because people are getting lax about getting their vaccinations. I was even lax about it. Before we left for Europe 2 weeks beforehand, I made a point to get a COVID booster, because I knew we were going to be on planes and exposed to a lot of people. But I hadn't.
Well, I caught, maybe that's what happened to me, because I was sick as a dog when maybe I should have done that. And it really kind of was a bummer, because when we got to, I had planned on eating anything within, I was going to eat everything when I got to Italy. And I started off great. We got to this one amazing restaurant, which was literally a stone's throw away from our hotel. And we made love to some pasta. We made love to a couple of artichokes. And the artichokes were thoroughly loved, and the ravioli was loved.
Some calamari and some wine. And
did we have calamari also?
I think we did. I did. I had a little bit. I think I had a side. Or was it that night or was it another night? But
I believe we did order calamari. Yes, I know. I remember we ordered it because you had said it was your favorite. So we had to make sure when we were in Italy to have calamari for Chuck.
I've always said if I were on death row, my final meal there would definitely be calamari in it.
I'm not as crazy, but if it makes you happy, it's just to me, it's like a bunch of chewing on rubber bands, but yeah, it makes them happy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that's going on in the news is the whole thing. And I don't know if you saw the press conference. People genuinely want to know if there's an FBI investigation into whether or not Lindsey Graham died from an unnatural cause. Like
Right.
if something like ricin had taken him out. What do you think
Yeah.
about all that?
Well, I know that, because, I initially saw the news report Saturday night, the moment it popped up on my phone, and I
Right.
sent it to you. And we both had an initial hit. Oh my God, could this have been Putin poisoning when he was in the Ukraine? But you later looked into it with your remote viewing, and I think you pretty much ruled that out, didn't you?
He had a Knight of Swords in his House of Opposition, which can be an assassin. But a lot of the time, a Knight of Swords it's an angry wind condition, right? When you have
Right.
angry
Viruses.
wind.
Yeah.
So yeah, viruses which attack your lung system. So
Yes.
that's my COVID card. So I was wondering if he contracted something and he was already vulnerable because he had
Right. His heart
coronary
condition.
artery disease. His aorta was fragile, and then he got an inflammation or an irritation, which is
Yeah.
why he wasn't feeling well because he had a flu. And then that inflammation was enough to cause that to rip
Right.
like a seam and take you out. And that's the
Right.
danger. That's the correlation, by the way, that we see with
COVID.
inflammation, coronary artery disease,
Inflammation, blood clots.
viruses.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of, it's interesting when we look at conditions like COVID, one of the number one things that takes people out is a cardiac arrest.
Yeah. But ruptured aortas, that doesn't get discussed very much. Of course, that's what John Ritter died of.
Yes, yes.
Lucille Ball, ruptured aorta. That's what she died of.
Was it during a surgery or something?
It was,
like
well,
that?
she survived the surgery. She had a partial heart transplant. It was partial. And she lived for about 5 days after that. And then
wow.
it was early in the morning, her aorta just ruptured and they couldn't do a thing to save her.
Oh my God.
Her death came so quickly. But
I bet that was shocking for a lot of people.
oh, it was. I actually talked to someone at Cedars-Sinai who confided me. He said the doctors, because of who she was, the most loved woman in the world, they were fighting so hard to save her, and there was just nothing they could do. They were giving it everything they had, and they probably kept her on life support longer than they needed to.
Right. Let's go ahead and show that to people if we can. I think I've got something from the old medical school when they started finally putting medical schools online. So literally anybody can put themselves through med school. I think that's rather cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Would
you have done that if you could have done it that way, Whimsy?
This was just coming out when I was graduating from medical school, and I think it makes it a lot easier for students. But you can see up here, this upper part of the heart, you can see this area coming out here. Chuck, you want to tell people what this is? This thing right here?
Let's see.
That is the
I can't
aorta, right?
Well, I couldn't see where the arrow is pointing because the screen is so tiny for me.
Oh, it is? I'm sorry. Should I make it larger?
Maybe the viewers can see it. I couldn't see where the arrow is pointing. That's why I couldn't answer
Okay,
that.
let me try again.
But anyway, that's the aorta.
Right, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Let me try again here. But basically, it looks like a tube, right, from a plumber, right? You see how it does a circle. It looks like a candy cane shape. I guess that's one way of looking at it, right? Is that candy cane shape. Here it is coming from behind. When it ruptures, it often is a pain along the back because it will inflame those nerves along the back.
That's what Lucille Ball said. Those were among her very last words. I have a horrible backache.
Right. So you can see that area that loops up on the top there. This is the area that gets the majority of the pressure because the left ventricular, the left ventricle will push blood into that ascending aorta. And so you can imagine the pressure, boom, 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 against that wall.
Yeah.
You guys are seeing this, right?
Yes, yes.
So against that wall in the back part of the aorta, you can imagine the amount of pressure, boom, 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 boom. Now it collects crud and gook. The person has an alcohol problem. They're eating junk food, etc. So now the area calcifies, and then it becomes like a crystal that can crack.
Yes. I think you mentioned that in one of your videos when you were studying anatomy You said
Mhm.
it actually would crack like a crystal.
Well, I've done dissections where I've taken out tubes that were almost like glass when we went cling, cling, cling.
Yeah,
We couldn't
yeah.
believe that the structure. I think it was a patient. I think of the deceased. It was something in the femoral artery. I couldn't believe it. So it was down here. We were doing an autopsy on the individual,
Yeah.
and we found this area down here. It literally had calcified like glass, and we
Wow.
didn't know if it was old injuries that had happened.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so
Scar tissue.
so yeah, so this area becomes vulnerable because the amount of pressure it receives, and then it can become calcified, and then it becomes almost brittle. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is that if you get an inflammatory reaction here,
Yeah.
that's also going to cause that
Right.
rupturing that most likely took the life of Senator
Lindsey
Graham.
Graham. Is it known if he had high blood pressure?
No, but this is one of the questions. Concerns about his alcoholism, concerns about his drinking problems. Do we see problems? Do we see problems in alcoholics, or
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've known of cases of people with severe alcoholism, just their internal organs start bleeding. That happened to somebody I knew of. Well, I didn't know him personally, but it was a friend who was very close to someone who had a serious drinking problem, and he just started coughing up blood, and he was rushed to the hospital, and they just said all of his organs were breaking down from the alcohol. This was a man who was drinking, get this, a gallon jug of wine a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, from drinking from first thing in the morning until going to bed at night, getting up during the night, drinking more. And after a few years of that, his body just gave out. He was only 45 years old.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah, good point. And going into the relationship, people had asked. Chuck is a physician's assistant, just to let people know backgrounds. And okay, so questions about liver. This was one of the questions, if we could talk about effects of liver and congestion of the liver. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you that also.
I'm taking also inflammation of the liver also.
Yeah, that's what we're getting into here. So I'm sorry about these images, but you can see that you have veins and arteries that are entering the liver, and the liver always has a large blood supply.
Yes.
Coming into it. So when this area has cirrhosis due to liver disease, you get a backup, and you get all kinds of congestion in the arteries, hepatic arteries and veins.
It's almost like a domino effect. One thing leads to another, to another, to another, because doesn't the liver control something like 500 different things in the body?
Yeah, it's the main thing to take. I'm going to go back to the medical school because they're the ones that seem to be able to give us the best imagery. Boy, this would have helped me a lot when I was in medical school. This is fantastic. I would have been able to have spent less time in the cadaver lab. Yeah, but this is an image here of the liver again, and you can see the amount. A large, if you lacerate the liver, there's a really good chance that you could bleed to death pretty quickly.
Right.
Say you fall and your rib punctures the liver. That can be one way that we see that problem. Who is that? The spammers?
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. And I was trying to turn it off on my computer and it wouldn't let me. I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. So so this is hopefully you guys can see it. You can see here that the aorta and the hepatic artery and vein going through there. You see that? So this is the hepatic artery and vein. Just this is coming off the aorta. This is a main artery that's coming off the aorta. But this is the hepatic venous system, and that's the area that becomes congested. And for that reason, blood cannot flow, it can't move past all of this cirrhosis. That's when you start to see fluids start to build up in the legs and ascites. in the abdominal area. So that's the relationship between congestion of the liver and improper flow of blood.
Right.
In answer to the person who asked that question. Yeah, alcoholism is bad news. And what Chuck had pointed out, the liver does all kinds of things, right? It's a storage site. It's basically your closet. So it's going to be storing your vitamins, your fat. It's going to be storing your carbohydrates. That's pretty gosh darn important. And it's going to be helping you make cholesterol, which helps with the structure of cells, but also is a precursor for steroidal hormones. Of course, we think about testosterone, estrogen, etc.
Yes,
all has a
exactly.
cholesterol backbone. So if you theoretically had a disease in the liver, it would affect your estrogen and testosterone levels. Yeah.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
So the other thing that came out of speaking of that, and it's kind of interesting that we juxtapositioned into that, people wanted to talk about the rumors about whether or not Lindsey Graham was gay and whether or not we think that it matters.
Well,
I don't, do you want to get into this at all? Because I think everybody has mixed feelings about this.
I think the main thing was, of course, it doesn't matter if a person is gay. That's their own business, but it's the hypocrisy and the people who were hurt by him. You know, because he took the stance of being very anti-gay, and certainly some of his legislation was hurtful to people. So I think that's it. It's the hypocrisy of it, and certainly there have been claims by male escorts. They were hired by him. Whimsy, wasn't there a transsexual woman who came forward with accusations?
Well, according to accusations by Jessie James Rose, a lovely lady, identifies as female trans. She's rather lovely. She has a good energy to her. She's an author. She paid her way through college as an escort. And she said that she wanted to personally thank Senator Graham for paying off her student loans.
Yes.
That basically she is able to be a queer advocate, educator, etc., because she was funded by Lindsey Graham.
Right. But funded for having to do, I think she said, some very deplorable acts.
Oh, isn't she pretty? I like that picture of her.
She is beautiful, yes. But I think she said, she had to do some pretty disgusting things to make that money.
Right.
From Lindsay.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, why is it relevant and why should we care? Do you want to answer that question? Because is this our fight to fight? I mean, Chuck, what's your feeling about this?
Well, my feeling is, when you're a private citizen, it's your right to be anything you wish to be.
Right.
But when you are, shall we say, a public servant, it's a whole different series of responsibilities and a different level of integrity that you should be standing up for. And it just that. What's really been curious about Lindsey Graham, I've seen so many people, like in social media, actually celebrating his death, saying, I
don't approve of that.
No, I don't either. In fact, that was addressed on The View the other day. Someone was saying, when you speak of the dead, maybe they're not hearing it, but the family is, and it's very hurtful. So there is a certain amount of human decency there. But I've been seeing a lot of people just expressing their hatred for this man, his hypocrisy, and certainly amongst the gay community. I've seen a lot of postings there. Someone was saying here, anybody can say anything after a person is dead, like the claims by male escorts and so forth.
Right.
But that was being said for years. It wasn't just after his death.
I think that she has text messages, and actually what she said was that he is an effing idiot. And she said he was an effing idiot because he didn't have her sign an NDA, and he was texting her, and she has text from him that are quite explicit, and she had to say, please refrain from saying those things.
Right.
Like at one point he was like, are you a top or a bottom, because I'm a bottom myself, and he was like,
Whoa.
and she said she had to correct him a couple times and say, please refrain from going into specifics. She said I'm versatile, but please refrain from specifics.
So she has evidence to back up her claim.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she said, you haven't given me a description of what you look like. I guess they met at a hotel. And he said, I'm an aging gentleman, a bit stocky. And just woke up to find, here's what she writes, just woke up to find out Lindsey Graham is dead. Laugh out loud, ? Most of you know him as the homophobic senator from South Carolina, but to me, he will always be the man who paid a Twinkie pre-transition college student. What's a Twinkie when you're in between?
A Twinkie is usually referring to someone very young, you know, like a teenager or someone in their early 20s.
Oh, tween, tween and teen.
Yeah.
Like a teen and a 20-something.
I usually that's how it's used in slang.
Twinkie pre-transition college student. Oh, so she was pre-transition.
Yeah, I believe so.
Not presenting as female, presenting as male at the time.
Well, I think the term is she-male that's used, where it's someone who has started the transition. Now correct me please if I'm wrong on this, but I believe they've already started the transition. They already have breasts, but they haven't had the bottom surgery, so they still have male genitalia.
Well, she's saying pre-transition college students.
Oh, pre-transition. Okay.
Yeah, so she was presenting as gay male, a fat stack of cash. So she said, excuse me, he gave her a fat stack of cash to do unspeakable things to him in a hotel room while he wore red lingerie.
Oh, dear.
Well, he's got good taste. Who doesn't like
J. Edgar Hoover allegedly would love to wear red evening gowns.
Well, he loves his pearls. I know that because I've remote viewed him. It is a canon trans event to have far-right freaks bankrolling you and then turning around and voting against you. People love to judge us for it, but I never see them opening their wallets. Shout out to the sex workers everywhere forced to humanize their enemies just to make rent. Comments.
Oh.
How do people feel about this? I do want to hear from people. She does come with receipts. She said she's got text, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that she has so much to substantiate her claims. I mean, you know, we have plenty of rumors from other people, but this is pretty tangible.
Interesting.
And I'm just amazed he did not make her sign an NDA in his position.
Yeah, she commented on that, and she said
that's really surprising. Very irresponsible on his part, actually.
I agree. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and open the floor. Chuck, would you be so kind to say hi to everybody before we get started? And
yes.
I just want to also make a quick announcement for people who just arrived. Sorry about the cough. I do have allergies. Our book of the month, as we've selected, the winner was Kristina Bach. Congratulations. And the book is Nowever, which is a trilogy. And man, is this a good book.
Yes.
The theme is fatherless daughters. And you know, the good and bad that comes with being a fatherless daughter. The bad is you don't have a father. The good is you become a pretty independent, empowered person sometimes because you're forced to do everything on your own. So, and I love it's an alternate world similar to this.
It goes into metaphysical aspects, but weaves it very seamlessly with just the elements of a teenage girl's story.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have this interview.
We've been looking forward to this interview.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. So Kristina's in our studio, and we'll be welcoming her to the stage at around 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, please, Chuck, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to make that announcement before.
Of course. So let me say hello to our wonderful people here. We have Poet-MZ3, Tarot by Sharona, Kaloa SF, KT8197, Deb-P9J, Warrior Warriors Queen Magic.
Grab some water while you do.
It says, hey, it's a big, beautiful party. Yes, it is. Rock and Pony Lady. Kimberly Canas, 5610. Let's see here. Tiger Heart Productions. Kimberly Bly Fitpold. Let me go through the names here. NYCH Fan. Elizabeth Beck. Susie Q, 8389. Tennis is Funga 1513. I hope I said your name right there. M. Hurst, Kirsten, and Annunziato Carlin. And I apologize if I mangled your name there. I always mean to be respectful to everyone here. Let me go through some other names here. Oh, Joyce, my good friend Joyce Petrus, the gifted astrologer, is here. And Brenda Rakestraw and Gigi Pardo Ford. And I feel like I'm in romper room right now.
Well, we'll continue to say hi to everybody as they go along.
We're happy.
I also want to say that we're always hungry for new books.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are an author and you would like to be considered for Chuck and Whimsy's Book of the Month Club, please consider reaching out to us by sending a copy of your book to me with a little introduction. Tell us who you are. We always like to know that stuff. Care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. The zip code, the address is actually also in the description if you didn't catch that. And who knows, maybe your book will be selected for Whimsy's Book of the Month Club. Awesome.
It's exciting. I love how we give a voice to independent authors. So many good books every month. It's something quite unexpected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have some comments here.
Yes, from Warrior Queen's Magic. I personally know of people on CNN who had sex swinging partners, parties, just randomly, like it was normal to do oral in hotel rooms with strangers.
Oh dear.
Stay woke. GOP is all sick.
Yeah, but CNN, I think that's kind of Democrats. I mean, it's like power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. Never too late to dream. I don't care what Lindsey Graham did behind closed doors with consenting adults. I do care what he did in public. Voting against LGBTQ plus rights. Boo on him. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well,
that's what I mean. I think it's fine. Whatever he wants to do in his private life, that's his. But you do have a public responsibility.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead now. We'll bring in the empath prayer. Of course, if you would like us to pray for you, if you'd like us to include you in our prayers today, please go ahead and give us your name or the name of the person that you would like us to pray for, and we will include them in the empath prayer. After that, we'll go ahead and we'll do some blitzes. So if you have any questions for us about what's going on in the news, just reach out to us and we can go ahead and do some blitzes as well. Yeah. Do you have anything you wanted to add, Chuck?
Nope.
We begin the prayer?
Let's get going here.
Sounds good. Okay, without further ado, we will bring in the empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say Amen. And for those people who are requesting healings today, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again collectively as a community, we say Amen, Amen, Amen.
Amen.
May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
Well, it's always nice to bring in
It
the
is nice.
empath prayer.
I think so, and I'm glad you found your gong.
I did find my gong. My
You
gong went
misplaced your
gone.
gong.
Gone. If the gong is gone, I mean, gong is gone.
Oh, that's kind of catchy there. No, it's been such a Mercury retrograde. Like when I did my show yesterday, I couldn't have my internet working for almost 40 minutes. It's just all kinds of weird things happening, but we flow with it.
All right. First question.
Yes.
And number one issue that came up today has to do with Kentucky governor said that they want to know proof of life. We talked about that at the beginning. Feelings about this, and I guess we'll throw some cards about how do you think this is going to go down? What are they doing? They're trying to delay because they don't want to give the power to Democratic governor. How bizarre.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way. It's like they're trying to keep this under wraps as long as possible, or at least those are the rumors that are going around, because it's really weird. I think what the Kentucky Governor Beshear is asking is perfectly reasonable. Mitch, why don't you just do a press conference with lots of cameras around you, lots of people, to prove that you are okay? You know, sorry, phone again.
Who keeps calling you?
I don't know. It's some kind of spam call here. I'm trying to stop it.
Can you turn the phone off?
I did that, and I don't know what's happening here.
My phone's on too.
I turned it off too. But anyway, don't you agree that's a perfectly reasonable request? It would certainly put a lot of rumors to rest very quickly. And so why is he not doing that? Why did he issue a photo that only increased more speculation?
Let's try and find out what's going on with this mystery, because I think that I was asking Grok, because Grok's got to know, and Grok said no. Mitch gave us, it was a total politically correct answer, saying no, he's fine. Right? He gave the official response. Grok did, and I'm like, bullshit, Grok. Yeah. He's like, it would be illegal to lie about that. Since when has anybody cared in the GOP about some breaking the law? They tried an insurrection to overthrow the U.S. government.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
There were no consequences to that. People died. Nobody cares.
No. In fact, there is a new movie. I think Sean Penn is directing it. Bradley Cooper is starring in it. That's going to be about the January 6th riots. And it promises to be extremely controversial.
So Grok is saying undetermined right now. It's not saying it's fake. It's saying that it could be fake. So that's a problem. If Grok is saying, Grok is not ready to say it's a fake, and it could maybe, but something is off. It's maybe it's an old picture, and then they used artificial intelligence with his hand there to attach, because he's holding the paper in a very strange way. He's not holding it like this. So it's more like they took an old picture of him and then put the paper next to him.
Yeah. Well, I did my own research just looking through various news accounts, and supposedly AI experts are saying it is not fake. And some are claiming that a lot of those photos circulating around, there's one where he's got 6 fingers and that type of thing, have been manipulated by other people and slipped into social media, and those start going viral and making
right. I keep getting, if he has pneumonia, I would not be surprised if it is what ultimately takes him out, in addition to everything else, because he's got Knight of Swords right over him. And then the other thing is this. Look at that. He's not, I'm telling you, I don't think he's coming back to the Senate. 7 of Cups is to walk away from everything. And then he's got that Knight of Swords. Like, Knight of Swords for me is angry wind energy. It's psychopathy. It's the assassin. It's the violent psychopath. It's the angry wind. I always thought of COVID as like a Frankenstein man-made virus from the Wuhan lab. It's kind of like a Frankenstein. What am I? I'm an unnatural life form, And then this exiting card, hopes and fears, the Queen of Wands. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The judges could get involved. In plainer words, if they don't do something soon, I really feel with that Queen of Wands moving in, that Kentucky governor could move towards going to the Supreme Court of Kentucky and taking action at the superior level, the superior courts, because of this energy coming in for the Queen of Wands. And look at this. This is kind of interesting also for people who are trying to find out a little bit more about what's going on with Mitch McConnell. 10 of Pentacles, family legacy, and keeping secrets. Dirty little family secrets is the aspect of the 10 of Pentacles. Think about that, people. It means that something is going, we are not privy to something that's going on right now. Something's going on, and there is a secret here.
Oh, yeah, I definitely got that in my cards here. First, as far as Mitch goes, I'm sorry, were you still reading, Whimsy?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I go as far as Mitch goes. I got suffering. I got loss. Big shadow over him right now. There's a lot of competition going on behind the scenes for his position. But it's interesting. I got these cards: denial, deceit, and shame. Yeah. But I think there's right now, a lot of competition is going on over who's going to get his seat, how it's going to get appointed, so forth. And there's a lot of deceit going on right now. It feels like cover up. And we got very bad cards for Mitch before the last show, and they're still showing up. He looks too healthy in that picture. You know, he looks like he had a facelift. He looks like he's been at a resort for a month. Do you really think an 84-year-old man who's had pneumonia is going to look like that?
Well, that is the question that is the question, right? And I don't think so. I think that something is definitely up with those cards.
Yeah.
Okay, second question that came up today. Thank you, everybody who's been making comments. We do read all of the comments that you put on all of our videos. This was due to a video I did earlier today, E. Jean Carroll, where I did my character, the Oracle of Whimsy. You know, Oracle of Whimsy is an archetype. It's a character that I like to play. I've been developing this character, right? Performance art. And
you do it well.
Yeah. So
you're a natural sketch comedian.
Yeah.
That I know about you.
The Oracle of Whimsy was doing a video. Yes, my alter ego was doing a video. She was channeling her wisdom as the Oracle of Whimsy. And the video we did today was about E. Jean Carroll and the fact that she finally received the $5 million. That was, but what was interesting when I went into the energy is that Trump presented in E. Jean Carroll's card chart as obsessed with her and this primal fear that he was going to lose his mommy. It was interesting to go into it because I felt like my mommy goes to the hospital for a year, and it's like I'm this helpless child, and I've got this psychopath father, Fred Sr. There's blood all over the place, right? Yeah. And so that's what that must have done to the mental health of a vulnerable 3-year-old who had no love. Your mother is in the hospital. You need comfort. You need protection. Don't worry, mommy's going to be okay. And instead, you're left to this psychopath. It seems to have been so traumatic that is the point at which he never comes back again.
Well, that's the theory that Mary Trump, his niece, has always had, that a lot of it goes back to when his mother was hospitalized. Well, I think it was almost a year and a half. Was it endometriosis? Yeah, for a year and a half. And she was saying a 4-year-old boy to lose his mother like that, and as you said, his psychopath father, I'm sure it scarred him for life.
Yeah, I really felt also, it was weird because there were cards in E. Jean Carroll's chart. Yeah. It was like he was obsessed with her, like a little boy with their mommy, and you can't leave me, and you don't love me anymore. It was this weird 5 of Cups energy, the clinging poverty. And she also had a 5 of Cups near her, so she was still grieving what had happened to her. But I got the impression when I went into the energy on Trump and E. Jean Carroll, I got the impression that he was trying to contact her or reach her through attorneys, and that her energy was like, you need help. Like, I am he gets obsessed with women, and he needs them like a child needs their mommy, and now she's mad and she's rejecting him, and it's triggering something in him to such an extent. On the one hand, he wants to lash out. On the other hand, he wants mommy to come back.
Yeah. I think the original lawsuit,
really weird.
The basis of the lawsuit went back 3 decades, didn't it? Where he allegedly molested her in a Bergdorf Goodman's dressing room.
Yeah.
Where pardon me for saying this, but put his fingers inside her, which is definitely rape, definitely a violation. And first of all, I was surprised that the statute of limitations would still allow her after 3 decades. I'm glad it did, but I was surprised how far back it went.
I think it was a defamation. He called her a liar, and then she sued to prove she wasn't lying. And I believe that's what happened.
There's a second case. There's a second settlement she's still waiting on, and that's a much bigger settlement. I think that's close to $86 million for defamation. And she's still waiting the results on this. This was, of course, the one that was smaller. It was for 5.2 million. And one thing I admire about E. Jean Carroll, I think she was being interviewed. I forget which show it was. It might have been Heather Cox Richardson. But she said, look, I'm a wealthy woman. I don't need the money. It's the principle of this. And I plan to donate the money to various causes for women. Yeah, that's what also came out was a 6 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Like, she has made this her business. She's organized. She's professional. She's a businesswoman, and she's going to be doing something with this money that ultimately helps other people. Yeah, so that energy I felt from Trump, that he was obsessed with her, that he couldn't let her go, that he didn't want her to leave. On the one hand, he's being vicious. On the other hand, this real fear, oh my God, I've gone too far. This made me feel like, as little Trump, he probably blamed himself. Little children blame themselves when their parents get divorced. Little children blame themselves when mommy goes away. And it almost looked like, whatever I did, I'm sorry, mommy, come home. If he had internalized it quite a bit as a child, an innocent child. And then that's the beginning of the end in terms of person. Had she never left, I think we'd be, even with having a horrible person like Fred Sr. as a father, I think had she never left, that single act was the thing that really caused him to lose his mind. I really do. I really think it had a lot to do with it. It's said that we are programmed by the time we're 5 years old. And that's what we carry for the rest of our lives. It was interesting to me. It was a jury of 9 people came to the decision very quickly. I think within 3 hours it was unanimous. And I read that E. Jean Carroll had very good evidence to back up her claims. Among the things in the trial, they showed the Access Hollywood clip, the infamous 2016 member that grabbed him by the pussy comment, where he was admitting he liked to grab women by the genitals. They used that in the trial, and the jury came to their decision very quickly. Yeah.
All right. Next up had to do with hot off the press news. Trump is facing further problems in addition to everything else.
Well, he should be.
Well, you heard about the IRS. What's going on with the IRS?
Well, no, tell me specifically what was announced today.
The judge is basically saying that Trump is using his powers to bypass the IRS. To take liberties.
Well, I knew he was trying to get around. He was trying to get immunity for himself and his family, because they've obviously done a lot of shady things. I mean, it's still fascinating to me. He's the first president in decades who would never release his tax forms. So the lot he does not want being.
Do you think that he's? Yeah. Do you think he's facing serious problems?
I think he should be facing serious problems, but it seems like the man just gets away with everything. So I don't know if he's actually going to face.
Were you done with reading on? Were you done on reading whether or not E. Jean Carroll was going to be safe?
No, I didn't read on that because we were talking. Did you want
let
me
to go back. Yeah, that was a question. People were worried wanted to know if she would remain safe. So we have to go back to that question.
Okay. I am so sorry.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's.
I think she has to be. I think she has to be on tight security. You know.
You know what? Here's what I just got. I just did this reading right now. I hate to show this. She's worried about her survival, and she feels like she is at risk right now. Solitude. She may have to lay low for a while. But is she safe? I think because this is so public, I got the community card. I think because this is so public, I think that in itself gives her a certain level of protection. Like if something were to happen to her, fingers would get pointed very quickly. It would be a little too obvious. But yeah, she is worried, and she has reason to be worried. What do you have, Whimsy?
Well, you know that he was trying to use the Justice Department to harass her through the Justice Department.
Yes.
But I don't get any indication here that she is threatened. Instead, I get the impression like he's obsessed with her. Don't leave me. Let's be friends. 5 of Cups, clingy, poverty, that guy. You know, and she presented as this compassionate person who was like, I can't help you. You need help.
Mm-hmm.
She has a new job. So activism is her job. Here it is again, grieving. You know, she suffered. To find her purpose in life, she suffered. Whispers. I'm telling you, this guy is trying to communicate with her. He's through his
I think she
really
has reason to be
She's
worried.
moving on.
Yeah, what I got from my cards here is she has reason to be worried, but I get ultimately she will be safe simply because this is too public. Too many people are watching this.
Right.
Okay, from Purple Allegria 7, a congressman said on a TV interview that he political understood that the picture is an old picture. This is from Ron Johnson's mouth. You meaning the Mitch photograph? Yeah, I saw one thing where allegedly it was from a picture of Mitch on a vacation about a decade ago. But again, there's so many doctored versions of the photo floating around on the internet now, and they're all going viral. It's hard to distinguish what is what now. That could have even been made up. What do you think, Whimsy?
I mean, yeah, I think something is wrong. It makes no sense. Look, if you're feeling fine, just pick up a phone and call somebody. You know, I just think it's all BS. And I think that it's really, I'm having a real hard time with these senators claiming that they spoke to Mitch.
Yes.
If somebody is healthy, you just pick up the phone and call. Look at Donald Trump. He won't shut up. He's calling 50 people a day.
He calls Fox News all the time.
So I think it's obvious you can't come to the phone. Oh, it's a mild case of pneumonia. So you're telling us you're intubated. Is that why you can't come? Is this somebody who caught pneumonia in hospital, wound up with adult respiratory distress syndrome, and is now intubated? Like, what the hell is going on? Is he a COVID victim now? Is he even alive at all? I just don't believe anything at this point. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Well, we have reason to be very suspicious because we've been lied to constantly by the Republicans.
One quick question, and then we'll go into the book interview. But back to the issue of Trump facing IRS problems. People wanted to know if this was going to be the legal thing that finally gets, is anything going to come of this? This is a legal problem. Will it result in anything for the president? Are there going to be consequences?
So the cards, I gave my personal opinion, but let's see what the cards say. Oh.
Well, the judge has already, she's going after the lawyers, that the lawyers could be losing their license. Every lawyer that defends Trump ends up ruining their career and losing their license. So there is an investigation into discovery because of the actions of the judge. You don't want a sun on you when you're talking about an investigation and you're potentially in trouble. Sun can burn, House of Opposition is strength of the case. So trying to defend themselves, but also this issue of health, which is really weird. Health and strength, etc. The House of Opposition. It almost feels to me like what they're saying is as many legal problems as Trump is. Here it is again. Look, evidence building a foundation or case against him and his attempts to use the IRS in order to benefit his cronies. That is the accusation, and the lawyers are facing serious trouble. Final outcome is he will have to pay economic restitution for what he did. He's going to be, this guy, how can he afford all these lawsuits? Look at this. He's going to have to pay out of pocket.
Well, look at all the billions of dollars he's made since he came into office in his second term. I'm sure he's got the money to do it, but it's more about his reputation and his standing. But what I got, whenever leadership card, obviously referring to Trump, Deceit, no surprise there. The people going after him have purpose. They're very much in their priorities. And ultimately what I got is truth. Truth is coming to the surface whether he likes it or not. And my last card was balance, justice, balance. There is going to be some sort of balancing out. And you said yourself that you feel he will be forced to pay restitutions, right? And already what happened with Jean Carroll is like a precedent right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
I agree.
I might add that any president who has been forced to pay a settlement because he raped a woman, that alone should be reason for him to resign from office.
Yeah, exactly.
Or be thrown out of office, you know? That's why I say he just gets away with everything.
Right.
Never too late to dream. On Thursday night, Trump is supposedly going to reveal 2020 election fraud in Georgia. Will this have an impact on the 2026 midterms?
Do you think that by now they're going to just take him off to the rubber room? I mean, how bad does it have to get?
I know.
This will be our last throw.
Yeah. I almost feel like I don't even need to throw cards here, but let's see what comes up.
I'm telling you, they're going after Trump. I feel like the GOP is like declaring war on Trump. Look at this energy again in his House of Opposition.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt you while you're reading. I'm sorry, but
I just feel like the GOP is going after Trump, and I don't. It's like the GOP is done with him, and it almost feels to me with this kind of energy that not only will nothing come of it, but there is this proactive need to kind of get their party back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, the last few times Trump has gone on live television. When was the last time? 3 months ago or something, where he went on and he just rambled like an idiot. You know, he just made a fool of himself. And I'm wondering,
get Grandpa off the lawn.
Yeah, get away Grandpa's car keys. But I almost wonder if they are purposely letting him go on live TV so the whole country just can see him for what he is. You know, he's got dementia. He's losing his mind. He's crazy. And certainly if he's going to go on still claiming the 2024 election. No, 2020 election was rigged in Georgia. Yes, sorry, I had a brain fart there. He's still claiming that he's going to go on live TV. I think they're saying, let him go on. It's almost like, let him do
the emperor. I'm telling you, it feels to me that they're headed towards the emperor has no clothes. Everybody take a look. Take a look at this buffoon that's in the White House. I mean, they're disgusted with him in Iowa.
Well, you know what I got here? The community card. This means the country, the nation. They're going to see him for exactly what he is. There's a lot of deceit, shame, shadow, and deprivation. Those are the cards I got. And there's a lot of competition again going on, like a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. You know, people, amongst his cabinet, the GOP. I think there's just a lot of fighting going on behind the scenes right now. But I think they're throwing him to the wolves. They're saying, go on in front of the public.
God, good. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for that, Chuck. Now, as many of you know, we have an amazing Book of the Month club.
Yes,
and we always encourage independent authors to send their books to us. Send your books to us. We would love to review your books. We're looking at books that are thought-provoking and spiritual. And this month's winner of our Book of the Month club, of course, is the amazing Kristina Bach. I am so excited to meet her, the author of Nowever. Everybody give a warm welcome to Kristina Bach. Hi, Kristina. Can you hear me okay?
Kristina.
I still
can you hear us okay?
I can hear you perfectly. I haven't been able to hear Whimsy.
I wonder why. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I can hear me okay.
Partial conversation.
Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Well, go ahead here. Okay, let me get to my questions here.
Because I love the tarot reading and I couldn't hear what was being said.
Oh, no.
Let's take a break from politics and do something fun now.
Whimsy, is there anything we can do? Any tweak so she can hear you?
No, I just you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Well,
first of all, we loved your book, and I was telling you before the show had a nice little talk. Your novel blends everyday teenage life with mystical elements, and you do it so seamlessly. So I want to know which came to you first, the emotional journey or the supernatural aspects?
well, that's a very interesting question. I think I have a different sort of definition of what's
Okay.
real and what isn't. It
All
probably
right.
you all probably fit into that too. I mean, there are people who say, "Well, tarot readings aren't real," whatever. Well, I'm not in that camp, and so when something's supernatural, sometimes I think what that means is it's supernatural. It's more natural than all the shields that we
Yeah, I
just
think
say,
we're the same
"Oh,
thinking as you.
that can't happen." But I was in Australia studying energy healing, and just I met a lot of interesting people and saw a lot of interesting things, and came up with the idea of what would happen if a little child were born being able to heal pain with her touch and not know that that wasn't just what life was like.
Right, it was just natural to her,
And
intrinsic
and
to.
and how would adults respond to that? Either not believing it because it's not in their context of real things, or trying to take advantage of it because
Mhm.
being rid of pain is who won't do almost anything to get rid of physical pain, other.
Absolutely, or to take away pain from others
Yes, so
that you love.
I just followed Stevie, and
Yeah,
she very quickly became very real before. I mean, I feel like she took over the story. I know authors say this
yeah.
all the time, but Stevie
Oh, yeah.
she just became real. So much so that, I
Mhm.
wrote the first book, Nowever, and then
Yes.
and then I said, "Oh, phew, I'm done with that book. I can write something else now." And then there was this, you're not done. I'm not
Mhm.
finished. So I
They
wrote
take on a
the
life of their own.
second book, which is
Yeah.
called Mirage. And I thought, well, there we go. Not quite.
Not quite. So there's
So
a
that
third.
third
You have a
book
trilogy here.
just come out, and that is it. Stevie even agrees.
That's it.
She's gone from age 16 to age 18, and
Uh-huh.
she's found so many ways to move forward with her
Yeah.
life, and it's been very complicated, and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of what you would call the supernatural. And at
Yeah.
one point, she's when she's a very small child, she's stolen by a couple who want to exploit her for her
Oh
healing
my. Yeah.
economically.
Yeah.
And nothing, too horrible happens to her, but just when you're a little kid and you're taken away from your parents. Well, you all were talking about that just a
Well,
while
right.
ago. Very
Right. We were. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when she gets home to her mother, she's got this post-traumatic um, forgetfulness. She can't remember anything that happened to her or any
Yeah.
of the people involved.
Yeah.
And so she goes through much of her life trying to figure out what's real in her life and what isn't.
Right.
Um, so when I pick up her story, she's 16, and at
Yeah.
16, a lot of people are just becoming themselves, like, oh, how am I
As we
different
all are at 16.
from other people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So I have a
that's where
question
the
for.
story picks up.
I have a
Whimsy,
question.
I can't hear you.
I have a question. Maybe Chuck will
Maybe
help.
I can relay it to
translate
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
relay.
wanted to know how she got the idea for fashion of
How did she get the idea for fashion?
Yeah, and the bald, the fact that she was bald, and the
The fact that
twinkly
she was
lights, and all those
bald, the
crazy
twinkly
fashion
lights.
ideas.
I think that, to my mind, it makes sense that there are multiple worlds. Each of us perceives the world a certain way, and we define, okay, this is the world we live in. But how do we know? I mean, I'm sure you've had this conversation before. How do we know that there aren't like layers of parallel worlds?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I just slipped into as Whimsy said, and we were talking before, just a slightly parallel world. So not everything that happens in Nowever is fact, but it's all
Mhm.
truth. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
thinking of what
Yeah.
what teenagers do. I like this idea, actually. It made a lot
Yeah.
of sense. So
Good. Well, yeah. Did you always envision Stevie's healing gift as a metaphor for emotional healing, or did that meaning just emerge as you were writing?
it emerged. She was healing physically, but the physical and
Yeah.
the emotional are not that far apart. And it
Yeah.
turned out at certain points that the emotional healing, the psychological healing, grew from the
Yeah.
physical healing.
Yeah. It sounds like she surprised you as you wrote her.
Yeah, she did all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. I did not have her
Yeah.
story fully formed. She
Yeah.
acted it out.
Yeah, because you probably didn't envision doing a trilogy. You thought her
Definitely not.
journey was going to end with this first
Yep,
book.
definitely not. I'm a
It sounds like
writer. Oh,
she
I
kept
do.
surprising you. You kept channeling more and more.
Right.
Yeah, I
I am
love
a
that
writer.
aspect.
There's a story
Yeah.
structure. I follow it and it's done. No, because I'm more than a writer. I'm,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Whimsy, did you want to ask something? I can relay it.
Oh, I just really love it. And I really love it. I went to high school in Seattle, Washington. And so I could really relate to these characters. And what I was saying to the author, Kristina, earlier is that one of the things that Seattle is known for is counterculture, that people are trying to not be like anybody else. And in their desperate attempt to escape, to become part of the counterculture, everybody starts to follow the fashion of Seattle, like the grunge of the 1990s.
Yeah.
But what they were desperately trying to do in Seattle was screw you. Like every single guy I dated in high school hated sports.
I wish
They
I
were
could lip read
freaks.
because I know these are really good comments.
They were
Yeah.
freaks. They
I'll have to
they
watch
hated
these.
sports. I mean, like they were brooding writers that would watch the rain and imagine that they were going to be the next Hemingway. These were
Yeah.
not sporty people. I mean, it's just she really captured that, and I just
Yeah, she did. Well,
Can you tell her what I just said?
Can you
well, could you distill that down, Whimsy? That's a lot you
just about
said.
counterculture, Seattle's counterculture, and how it changes, and how
it
they became the
changes.
lead. Yeah, tell it.
Became the lead in the story. Yeah, I don't know if you want to
No, it's the lead.
No, I didn't catch that. What was it?
What was it, Whimsy? How
I'm
would I convey
talking
that?
about fashion and how
Fashion.
Seattle is a counterculture that has impacted
Oh yes, of course.
fashion, music, and everything else. And
Seattle is
she
a
was able,
counterculture to that.
yeah, and she
Fashion,
was able
music.
to capture that in the
You
film.
captured that very well in your book. That's what Whimsy was saying to you. If you wanted to comment on that. Sorry, Whimsy.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think I mentioned to you at the beginning too that the main theme that became apparent to me that I had not planned in this series was how being fatherless, either being born fatherless, losing your father being emotionally absent, whatever. As Stevie's father's, going to have his grand adventure. She's like 3 years old. He's built a sailboat and he is going to sail to Australia single-handedly, and then he'll come home, then it'll be fine. Well, but he disappears off the coast of Australia. And so really through all these 3 books, she is struggling to either find her father physically or try to reunite with him, or find a way to be emotionally connected and okay with what she does. And I've talked to so many women who consider themselves fatherless daughters in so many different ways. And every one of them it's a huge part of their identity, and it takes a lifetime sometimes to work that out.
Right. Again, we were talking about how people are programmed at an early age. And I made the comment to you before the show that, I read a lot of biographies, especially Hollywood stars. So many women like Betty Davis, Lucille Ball, Joan Crawford, they lost their fathers very early in their lifetimes, Barbara Streisand. And it gave them a certain drive to achieve success, incredible success from that.
And I think is a line that goes directly through Nowever and the other books. And at each step, Stevie gains in strength, courage, and independence because that's what she has to do to find peace for herself.
Yeah.
And so, like I say, this is for she's 16 to 18. That's a vital time where she learns that what her life is going to be, how she needs to be without that father figure.
It's also a dangerous time for fatherless daughters. It's
A dangerous
dangerous.
time for
14
fatherless
is
daughters.
the age when many
Yes,
girls,
yes.
fatherless girls, sexual assaults happen. They say
A
that
lot of sexual assaults
it happened at 14. Like that's the
Girls.
common theme. It's right around 14 that they start attracting male attention, but they may
Yes,
not
their bodies are
necessarily know how to
developing.
protect themselves.
Right. Just not emotionally ready for that by any means, as if they ever would be emotionally
Well,
ready for
also
that.
they have no father to protect them, and so they go
Right,
out looking
right.
for a father.
No father to protect them.
And
They go out
Stevie,
looking for a father.
exactly. And Stevie is very careful. She's very hesitant, about these connections with the opposite sex. And
Yes.
I'm careful. I mean,
James.
there is no, I just want to let readers know there is no sexual assault, there is no child
Right,
molestation in this book
right.
because personally, I can't stand to write about it. And
Right.
there's enough in the media and in novels, etc. I just felt
Certainly.
this is going to be a non-dystopic, and it's not a dystopia. It's it's
Yeah.
a world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, more terrible things can happen than happened to her. But I wanted a little break from that.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to get a reading, Chuck.
Oh yes,
When
we
you're
would love that
ready,
very much. We would love a reading
maybe you have
of
some
your book.
questions for her,
Please.
but if she
I
can just
have-
tell us
I
what
will
she's
read
going
the
to be
first,
reading.
10 pages.
Yeah, so we can
Because
all
read
that'll
follow
10
along.
pages.
I will
Okay.
read 10
would love
pages
this.
to introduce you to Stevie.
Okay.
I was Stevie the Mouse, an unpopular kid, unremarkable. Then I turned 16 and everything changed. Over that summer, I grew taller than my mom, taller than my best friend Winter with longer legs. My zits cleared up overnight, my breasts swelled, and I grew cheekbones like I was digitally enhanced in 3D. Thank you, DNA. I started our junior year high on hormones, and on the way, guys' glances skipped past Winter and widened in surprise at the new me. I was as surprised as they were. I didn't handle the new admiration and envy that came my way with a lot of grace. I'd never had any practice. I'd done a stellar job of being no one since my first day of kindergarten when I was so shy I peed my pants rather than ask to use the toilet. I'd started school on the wrong foot and never recovered my balance. From the beginning, I hid behind Winter. I relied on her offhand acceptance, never challenged her starring role. Our moms worked together in real estate. They were the ones who declared us best friends. When we were little and cute, people mistook us for sisters because we both had white blonde hair. But Winter was the pretty one, round pink cheeks, round china blue eyes. My eyes were maple syrup brown, and soon my hair turned brown too, like my mom's. After preschool, I grew skinny and sallow. Winter mocked me for my clumsy cartwheels at recess and for using big words which meant any she didn't know. By third grade, I proved to be a numbers geek, and on into high school, as long as I let her copy my math homework, Winter let me orbit her like the farthest out planet. In the girls' solar system, whether the other girls loved her or feared her, she was the sun. Without her, I'd have spun off into deep space alone. The first Wednesday after Labor Day, 3 boys who'd scarcely spoken to me all the years we'd shared classrooms and soccer fields cornered me at my locker. Nearly 6 feet now, I could look them straight in the eye. They seemed friendly, but Winter's shoulders stiffened. She barged in between us. "Leave her alone." The boys looked amused. She turned to me. "I'm protecting you, Stevie, because I care. You're naive and gullible. I know those guys. You want to stay away from them." The boys sniggered, and automatically, to be a good sport, I laughed too. You could say I laughed in Winter's face, but I hadn't meant to. I'd learned from her to get along by going along, and that was what I was trying to do. For the rest of the week, Winter refused to sit with me in the cafeteria or walk with me between classes. I pretended to ignore her coldness, hoping it would pass. And I avoided the boys, partly to show Winter I'd listened to her warning, and partly because I didn't know what to say to them. The fad for teens of all genders that season was to shave off our eyebrows and grow our hair long. We girls wove fine programmable LED lights through our hair, setting the minuscule lights to brighten and twinkle in the presence of friends and go dim near those outside our circles, signaling cliques and alliances. On Monday, Winter flounced by in the hall as though I were invisible, my lights twinkling frantically, hers remaining stubbornly dull. The two girls with her smirked as I called out, "Winter!" Winter sped up. I chased her and yanked her arm hard. Her feet skidded out from under her and she landed on her butt on the tiled floor. "Ow! What the shit, Stevie?" The other girls stood back, aghast. I hadn't meant for that to happen. I was shocked too, shocked at how good it felt. Revenge for years of put downs so subtle no one else caught them, or everyone did, secretly laughing at me. I'd swallowed my hurt as the price of Winter's friendship. "Sorry, Winter." I offered to help her up. She batted away my hand. "You knocked me down on purpose. You think you're cool. You've always been weird, Stevie. Now you're big and dangerous too." A crowd was gathering, jeering and goading us into a fight. My vengeance didn't feel so rich with Winter playing the pathetic victim, me looming over her. I didn't do it on purpose. I'd kept my voice down, but hers rose, melodramatic, to recapture center stage. "Oh yeah, that was Winter through and through. You did. You've been stalking me forever." "Stalking? What? And copying me? So not fair. You..." Winter shouted up at me with a mean twist to her lips. "I don't feel sorry for you anymore, so fuck off." My ears rang, everything turned red. I grabbed fistfuls of Winter's flossy hair. She screeched. I clawed out her light threads, ground them into the tile under my heels, and fled. Yes, just like that.
I love this book.
Yeah.
I'd show Winter my contempt for her crappy popularity games. I hid in the gym locker room and chopped my light threads out of my hair with tiny manicure scissors from my makeup bag. The school security officer nabbed me there. She disarmed me and frog marched me through my gawking classmates, guaranteeing my brief popularity dead. Shall I go on a little further?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Sure,
I'm having
please.
a good time.
We're enjoying it.
How invisible had I been? Our high school wasn't large, but the counselor had to look up my name. Well, Stevie, class of 2027? Actually, it's a little out of date now, but okay. That's supposed to be the near future. Your mother is Elizabeth Cruz Wales? A wide metal desk separated us. I knew the mirrored wall was see-through from the other side. I saw the two of us in it, me wild-eyed, my hair sticking up where I'd cut out chunks with the lights, her all blow-dried and office-appropriate. I looked scary or scared. She looked coolly efficient. She generally got the worst of the worst in her office. In our privileged Puget Sound Island community, the worst usually involved pharmaceuticals stolen from a parent's stash, sexual misbehavior, or failing grades. My greatest crime until now had been introversion. Honestly, I only knew the counselor's name from her name tag, Ms. Ortega. She hardly looked older than me, but she put on an attitude and said, and as she brought up my records on the screen. She typed, wrote something on a card and gave it to me, meeting my eyes for the first time. "I've made you a crisis appointment with a therapist, Stevie. You're a good student with a clean record. Normally we'd suspend you for this kind of assault, but we're giving you another chance." Assault? And was someone watching me through the mirror glass to protect the counselor from me? She was all no nonsense, ready for me to leave, no warm and fuzzy facade. "We've called your mom. She's coming. See the therapist on this card, and depending on her risk assessment, you may be allowed into your classes tomorrow." In the car, I had a screaming fight with my mom. I did the screaming. I refused to tell her what had happened. She didn't say I'd humiliated us both, but it was true, and I knew she was thinking it. She was dressed in her realtor clothes, island business casual and high heels, so I'd taken her away from something important at work. She clamped her lips in a tight line and clenched her jaw as we drove through a storm. Rain threw itself at the car windows. Fir trees shook their branches at us. At home, my little dog Hero ran to meet me. I shoved him aside, grabbed the kitchen shears from a drawer, and locked myself in the bathroom with them. I hacked off more hair to fix the damage I'd done at school. I went on cutting for the satisfying crunch of the sharp blades. My hair fell in well-conditioned skeins, leaving clownish patches bunched behind my ears. They wanted weird, I'd give them weird. I slathered peppermint shave cream into my scalp and shaved it bare with my pink plastic razor, erasing myself like a bad drawing, while Hero whined and scratched at the door to come in. As I made my last stroke, the light over the sink flickered off. Outside, lightning zigzagged blue-white, thunder cracked and boomed. Suddenly dizzy, I dropped the razor and clung to the granite counter. It dissolved into a jillion pixels. Then my fingers and arms and the walls did too, and sunlight poured into me through stained glass windows, every color of the rainbow. Yet I saw myself, too, as an elfin child, my eyes clear the way only a young child's can be, caught in the glass colors. My face beamed bright. My hair, a pale cloud, spiderweb fine, tickled my cheek. My tiny fingers settled floaty as flower petals toward. Our lights came back on, revealing the plain old bathroom and me, the new bald me, solid and bleak in the mirror, eyes dilated like I'd seen a ghost. Had I, or was I going psycho? Mom rapped on the door. She gaped like a landed fish when I opened it. I gave her a look that dared her to take me on about my hair. I hadn't used up my fury and hurt. I wanted someone to yell at, but her voice held less anger than pity. You have an appointment.
Oh.
And that's, you have met Stevie.
And you love writing. I can tell that.
I do.
I can tell you just had a lot of fun creating this. The way you were reading it, reading your own words. I love that very much.
It's my way of being human in the world is writing. So
can she talk a little bit about the three?
Oh, I did
books?
the illustrations too. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love that.
Did you? They're wonderful.
Yeah. Art.
Yeah. So Whimsy wanted to know if you could talk about something.
Yeah, the three books, if people want to get into the series, which book is first, second, and third, and talk a little bit about the evolution so that we know a little bit more about the trilogy.
Yes, if you could talk a little more about the trilogy, which book, of course, is first, and how we can access these. How can we get these books?
Nowever.
Did that cover it, Whimsy? Yep.
Yes.
Nowever is the first.
Cold Mirage is the second. I'll tell you, Stevie goes away to college, and interesting things happen.
Oh, I bet.
She also goes up to Vancouver Island, up to Tofino on Vancouver Island.
Oh, I love that part of the world.
A lot takes place there. And then Dying to Help is the third and last, and starts out with her pet sitting for her mom, a corgi and a cat, who become very important parts unexpectedly of a very strange story. But
is this young adult Stevie in the third one?
She's 18, yeah.
18.
Although I wanted to say that too. These are officially young adult YA books because the protagonist is a young adult. But that doesn't mean very much. They're meant. My favorite reader review ever came from a 92-year-old woman, and so any age. Yeah. And you can order them. Of course, they're on Amazon, but I very much prefer that I'm a great proponent of independent bookstores.
Me too.
They're very important. So on my website, you'll also see bookshop.org. And
okay,
my website,
terrific.
KristinaBach.com.
Wonderful.
And that's fine.
We just had a question here. Where can these be purchased in the Northeast? Would you
Well,
know that?
the same way online. You can, any independent bookstore can order them from Ingram Sparks. So one of my favorite bookstores is in Cold Spring, New York. It's a very sweet store. They can, it's like you can order.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was going to ask you another question, but we have here from KT8197 referencing the new Legally Blonde as a teen, which is crazy that this book was written before that came out. The astrology of that is complexing.
Oh, well, that is interesting. interesting because
Yeah.
I've heard about Legally Blonde, but I don't watch TV. I haven't had a TV.
Yeah. I'm
since
sure
I-
you've heard the comparisons to Mean Girls also.
Oh, Mean Girls. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one
But
certainly.
that we all grow up. I mean, we all meet. Mean
You know,
Girls.
something I wanted to ask you, have you heard from young readers who see themselves in Stevie? And if you had conversations with them?
I have heard from adult readers who see themselves as Stevie when they were young. I would
Really? Yeah.
love to hear from young readers. I don't
Mhm.
know how many. It's really curious to me because
Yeah.
everybody I know reads.
She's so identifiable.
I'm old, so everybody I know reads. I don't know how many younger people read, and I have not made audiobooks out of these yet. And
Oh, you must. And I
I-
hope you do them yourself because you take such joy
well,
in reading your own words. I
Yeah.
just love that about you.
I don't know if I would do them myself, but my publisher is Luminare Publishing in Eugene, Oregon, and they are brilliant at making anything happen. So
I think you should at least give it a try. You really should. You read beautifully here.
Yeah.
Then we had the comment here, just heard the Seattle thing. If you watch the new Elle show, it really highlights the counterculture, yet it becomes the thing.
And again, not watching TV, this is a part of the popular culture. I mean, I probably know what they're talking about, but I
Right.
can't
Sure.
connect the dots right here.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Seattle's
Well,
good at counterculture. I mean, Seattle used to be good at counterculture.
Right,
You know,
right.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
things.
Portland also,
But
you know,
I lived there during
Portlandia.
some very formative years.
We do whatever we want and we don't care what the world thinks. And that's really what it is to be part of Portlandia. We
Yeah.
do, you know, Portlandia is its own world,
Mhm.
you know. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell her that?
Oh, yes. Well, Portland is like its own world to itself, a counterculture. Whimsy was just talking about that. Whimsy, would you like me to elaborate further?
No, I just wanted to thank Kristina Bach for being
We
here.
want to thank you very much for
and,
being here, Kristina.
We do.
My
We
huge pleasure. I love it. I really appreciate your interest.
Yeah, we love
Oh,
your
very much
writing,
so.
and
We
we
love your
strongly encourage people to just support Kristina and all
We
she does.
encourage
because her
people to
work-
support you.
She's an amazing.
Go to my
writer.
website, kristinabach.com, and have a party. I've got endless old blogs and photos and drawings and
Right.
Yeah, so like me.
And I would like a great job. And I would like to announce that our next book of the month, the winner of the July Book of the Month Club, it goes to Diana Reimer. Congratulations, Diana Reimer. If you're watching this, you were selected as our July Book of the Month. This is nonfiction. I do try to stagger the books. So we'll do fiction, then we'll do nonfiction. I've been pretty good about that.
Yes, you've been very good about it.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Mhm.
All right. From abuse to enlightenment, transforming from childhood trauma using spiritual principles with Diana Reimer. And we look forward to interviewing her next month for Taco Tuesdays. And again, I want to reiterate, we're here to support independent authors. If you're writing positive things, have a spiritual aspect to them, like this amazing book by Kristina, then please send us your book, care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And who knows, maybe your book will be selected for Taco Tuesday's Book of the Month Club. Before we close out, a couple quick questions. Kristina, does she have any other books in the works? And then we'll also ask about you, Chuck, next. But let's find out if she has any other books coming out.
Kristina, do you have any other books in the works? Anything else coming out?
Oh, I do. I have a very dark novel set in Australia.
Do you?
Oh, really?
It's a literary novel. It's very, very adult, and it will be probably another year or so before it's finished.
Good things take time.
Awesome.
I'm happy for you. You just love writing. That comes across.
Writing and art and gardening, and life is good right now.
Yeah, that's good. And that shows. That's in your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good energy.
Yeah. And Chuck, if people want to reach you for a tarot reading or a medical consult.
Okay, it is just DuranceFieldChuck@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to reach me right now. I love to do readings for people. I love to be commissioned for artwork. I love to do portraits where I receive messages for people. I even do pet portraits where I get messages. I have my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles, a talk show on Mondays, Chuck's Captivating Chat. I was on almost 3 hours last night reading for people, and that's where I am right now. And Dr. Whimsy Anderson, tell us about you.
Yeah, so if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can book me through a Booksy, and all that information is below this video. We are out of here. We want to thank you all for being here, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe as we boldly march towards 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Okay, so on that note, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time, everyone.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.